Oh my goodness. Really exciting news as the push to get second stimulus checks in your CR is looking very promising as a major development had hatched minutes ago after holidays LALATE. What's going on? This is the breaking detail minutes ago. Mitch McConnell has withdrawn his deal-breaking provision, the liability provision. Yes, Mitch McConnell says he will withdraw his liability provision and ask for it in January in the big stimulus package if the Democrats withdraw their $300 billion of state and local, which they can ask for in the big January provision. And then, no less than 5 senators have written letters urging for stimulus checks in this package, on top of Josh Hawley, the Republican out of Missouri, on top of Bernie Sanders, the independent out of Virginia, on top of Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, on top of Joe Biden asking for stimulus checks, on top of apparently the President of the United States asking for stimulus check. Your push of the purple power has been catastrophic. No less than a week ago, we asked to put stimulus into the CR. We got it in there. Then we asked for stimulus checks or shutdown. Now, the indication is there will not be a continuation for another week. They're going to try to get it done right now, and they're going to try to get it done with a stimulus check. Meantime, $2,400 for SSI and SDI. And those other issues, I'll be covering that as well. Big money coming from your state, stimulus checks across the board. There's so much exciting news. I'm so excited for you. Let's get it going. We're seeing the finish line. Let's push, push, push. This is a big recording of Afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Boy, I have never been so excited in less than, about a week and a half since I saw the news break minutes ago. I got off the taping of Holidays LA. You saw me live. There was about 1,000 people in the room. We went to about 10,000 in about 15 minutes. And at that time, I was talking about, the problem we were dealing with was Mitch McConnell's liability provision. He has now withdrawn it on the condition that the Democrats withdraw their state and local. And he's not opposed to putting a stimulus check in this package. Oh my goodness. If you've not subscribed, please do, because this is all the efforts of the purple power. This is all the efforts of the purple power. We are very vocal with now, 340,000 followers on this channel. I want to thank the viewers of this channel because minutes ago, if you did not see me tweet, I did not realize when this channel only had a mere 40 or 50,000 followers. One of our videos today from that time is about to pass 2 million views. It's very rare for a video ever on YouTube for a financial channel to get 2 million views. No, very few people have ever reached that. And that's for a channel that was this small at only 40, 50,000 viewers at the time it launched a few months ago. So please subscribe. I'm getting you money right now, not 5 months from now, not 5 weeks from now, not 5 years from now. And I'll be going over that money on this video and the big one after this, Purple. Purple goes through all the details of how to get the state stimulus checks that are coming out, state rent stimulus that's coming out, $5,000, $10,000. I've changed people's lives. The volunteers are actually salt of the earth. They are changing people's lives during this holiday season to ensure that they get money so that they can survive and not be thrown on the street, saving people from the brink of homelessness. This is the spirit of the channel. Me helping you, volunteers helping you, you helping other people. This is the best community there is out there. I'm proud to say it, so please subscribe. It goes to the Fun Channel, subscribe. Also hit the alert button. There's a little bell there, so you can alert when I go live or taped. Meantime, also like this video. It really helps in the algorithm rankings. In this video, I'm going to go over what really happened just minutes ago. Lord, I'm just sort of shocked because I said Mitch would never withdraw this provision. And I'm also shocked because the news report from last night that said they're going to a stopgap, which would continue it, is apparently now wrong. Thank goodness it's wrong. I'll have all those details. Then I'll go over why the push to get stimulus checks in this bill is getting so loud and vocal. And what do you need to do to get this to the finish line? Then I'll be turning to state and local, and I'm going to be turning to SSI and SSDI and UI and PUA, all those questions as well. Eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance, and those issues you're asking as well. A lot of breaking news today, and so let's get To the breaking news. The breaking news is just really breaking news. Minutes ago, on the congressional floor, Mitch McConnell said what some gossipers had said he might say, and it actually came out. I didn't report it because it was gossip at the time. I didn't think it was ever going to happen. He said, I will withdraw my liability provision from my proposal if the Democrats withdraw their $200-300 billion state and local provision in the problem makers bill. And we can all take this up in January. Now, let me tell you the impact of this shortly, but first let me tell you the significance of this. This is a big one. This is really big, because if you've been tuning in every day with me on this channel, you know over the last 3 days I've said the reason why this is not getting done yet is not because of the stimulus check. It's because Mitch has this liability provision that he has always wanted since May. He has put it in all his drafts of stimulus packages, and they've always died from the other side because he said either it's in there or I'm not budging. Well, this time he said, you know what? You also have called a line in the sand provision for the Democrats. And for the Democrats, that provision has been staying local. He says, you take that out, I'll take mine out, and we can take this up in January. Why is this so significant? This means they can get it done. This means they can get the continuing resolution bill done. It's due December 11th, which is Saturday, but I told you that they really get this functionally getting agreed upon by today. What is also really exciting about this is that this totally disproves a political article from last night that said that Mitch McConnell and Ed Markey for the Democrats overnight agreed, you know what, we're just going to extend this for a week, we'll deal with it next week. I was just like, why is there only one article saying this? Well, it now shows that is not true. Mitch McConnell did not have an intention to just roll this over for a week. He really wanted to get this done. And so now we see there's a push to get this done by the next day or two, because it has to go to the Senate to vote, House to vote, and President to sign it. Now, before I get to the stimulus check provision in a second, I want to talk a little bit more about one other thing, which is the reason why Mitch is taking this provision out is because, first of all, it's sort of ridiculous. A lot of courts are closed. So why are you worried about suing people? You can sue them in January. This is nothing worried about. You don't have to sue anyone during the holidays. Just wait 4 weeks to sue them in January under Mitch's theory. Then the other thing is the states are not going to go bankrupt in the next 4 weeks. They can wait to January for their money. We already know they're not going bankrupt. So, and the amount of money that the states really want is a lot more money than $200 billion. So just do the amount that you really want and do it in January. This is all really great news. So now let's get to the stimulus checks. So the stimulus check part of the provision is just getting so exciting. There's a lot of things about the stimulus check that's developing this afternoon. The first one I want to go over is the amount of money for the stimulus check. If Mitch gets the agreement to take out his liability provision on his side, and the Democrats to take, or the moderates, they're not even Democrats, they're actually Republicans that wrote that. The problem creators are generally Republicans, they're not Democrats, so I should not refer to them as Democrats. The problem creators, Josh and Tom and Jerry, if they were to take out state and local, that frees up $300 billion. You know what else costs $300 billion? Yeah, you do know what else costs $300 billion. Stimulus check. A $1,200 stimulus check costs exactly $300 billion. So take out state and local and that gets it done. In fact, one person actually said that on the congressional floor yesterday. You know what? We don't have room for $300 billion unless we took out state and local. Well, now we're taking it out. There's room for a stimulus check. Literally, the math is so obvious at this point, you can't run from the math anymore. You're taking out state and locals, $300 billion. Okay, the stimulus check is $300 billion. Send out the stimulus check. What are we worrying about? Now, the other thing you know about math, because you've been watching me for the last 24 hours, is that there's $600 billion of unused CARES Act 1 money at SBA that amounts to 2 stimulus checks of $1,200 each. Larry Kudlow confirmed that amount of money at SBA on Friday. He said on CNBC, I don't understand why my party's not repurposing it. Mitch McConnell writes about repurposing in his memo. He likes repurposing. And ultimately, it doesn't cost a penny to send out SBA money. It's free. So how can we get this deal done? It's just so incredible great news. The $900 billion bill of the problem creators is now $600 billion. And guess what? We can make it even cheaper. We can make it almost $300 billion because we're not even using CARES Act 1 money for the stimulus check. It just keeps on getting more obvious. There is literally no excuse now to send out a stimulus check. And what's also really breaking this afternoon is the support for the stimulus check. Let me just make it very obvious, sum it up very obvious. There is no one not supporting the stimulus check at this point. There is no one that has the balls to come out and say, I don't want a stimulus check. They're just sort of making excuses, and those excuses have now imploded. And so late today, a letter was written on top of everything else that I've talked about for the support for the stimulus check. A wonderful letter has been written by Bernie Sanders, who's actually listed as an independent from Vermont, 5 Democratic senators who are Elizabeth Warren, Ron Wyden, Jeff Merkley, and Ed Markey, and Kristen Gillibrand all said a stimulus check needs to go out. Nancy Pelosi today also, if you missed holidays, LA, actually cleaned up her act. Who is this new Nancy Pelosi? I think Joe Biden just took her out for lunch and just said, hey, here's some $12 ice cream. Just start acting normal. And so today she acted normal again. I'm just loving this new Nancy Pelosi. She said, I will support a stimulus check, and I want a stimulus check in there. Oh my God, Sirloin, what have you done to her? She says, I want a stimulus check, but it's up to the President of the United States. Well, guess what? The President of the United States does want a stimulus check. Josh Hawley, who is my new favorite, the Republican out of Missouri, who is adamant for a stimulus check, went to meet the president before he flew off to for his travels. And the president reportedly told Hawley that he wants a stimulus check in there. And Hawley said, I want you to veto the bill unless there's a stimulus check in there. And the president apparently did not disagree. Lord, so this is all getting very promising. Let's recap where we are today. December 11th deadline is not extended. There is no bill yet. It is just chatter. The chatter's working. They're chattering on the floor of the Senate and the floor of the House. It's all really working. The chattering is public, so we're seeing what they're saying. It's all really good. And there's now no excuse to send a stimulus check financially or logistically or partisan-wise. Everyone's saying send it out. This is looking good. This is the best it's looked since the start of the CR. Remember, the Purple Power urged to get CR for stimulus in the CR. We got that done. Then we urged shutdown or stimulus check or shutdown. Then we got that done. They're not extending the CR at the moment, and suddenly everyone wants the stimulus check in here. You got to take this video and follow through on Twitter like you've been doing incredible news today. You need to take the video and tag all the supporters that have your back. Representative Hawley, these are all people who have smaller Twitter accounts. They will see your tweets. Representative Josh Hawley out of Missouri. You need to tag him. No one has that name besides Josh, so just tag him. Then you need to tag all the people who wrote that letter. And that is on top of Bernie Sanders. You need to tag Bernie Sanders, AOC, Kristen Gillibrand, Ron Wyden, Jeff Merkley, Ed Markey, and Elizabeth Warren saying, yes, stimulus check in this bill. Joe Biden's transition team, Senator Harris, AOC are among the other supporters. Then you want to get the message out to the people who are on the fence. President Donald Trump, McConnell's communications director, and McConnell's press secretary. And then you want to really hit hard against the detractors, who is the problem creators themselves, Tom and Jerry, which is actually Tom and Josh, and then the wonderful senator from Louisiana. He needs to wake up very quickly. Now, let's turn to the other incredible great news as we sit here today. What's going to happen with that $2,400 for SSI and SSDI? Yes, so that's going to happen. That is January. It's $2,400 as a stimulus check just for SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and Railroad benefits on top of the stimulus check that everyone else is getting. So you're going to get both. $200 a month every month all the way up to December 31st. I'm really excited for you. Plus an increase one time upwards of about 20% because you've been left behind all these years. And then a new benchmark to tie your benchmarks that would rise annually if price of goods goes up, tying you to something other than COLA. So this is very exciting. I believe it's going to be a standalone bill, but that's in January. What else are they going to get into the CR? They're going to get into the CR an extension of UI. into late January, an extension of PUA into late January. So on Being a Mitch, which is 2 videos after this, I'm going to go live and answer your questions about I lost benefits. Am I going to go back on the benefits? What's going to happen with FPUC? I don't think FPUC is going to last. It may. I don't think it should because it's a logistical nightmare, but I don't think FPUC is going to last in the CR. We'll have more updates about that shortly. Right after this video is Purple. And in Purple, I go over how to get that state stimulus money. Those are stimulus checks coming out. Stimulus checks, stimulus rent, free stimulus, and free utility stimulus across the board. And then after that is Being a Mitch live recording about unemployment assistance. Now, the other things that you need to know is you have so many opportunities to get to get other relief in January. In January, this is what Joe Biden is going to give you. He's going to give you multiple stimulus checks until the pandemic's over. He's going to give you 2 rounds of EIDL. People who didn't get EIDL grants before and new EIDL grants. He's going to get another round of PPP. He's going to have a CDC grant for frontline workers, hazard pay grants for hazard pay for essential workers, and then food grants, rent grants, and then eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance. I have to say that I did not say early in this video, they still need to get into the CR, eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance. They absolutely need to get it in there. And that they keep on forgetting to mention that. And ultimately, I know we're pushing for stimulus check, but that is also very important. So hopefully they don't miss that as well. All this great, exciting news is going to come in January, along with FPUC retroactive to July at $600 a week. This is what Joe Biden's fighting to give you. Ultimately, it will depend on what happens in the Georgia Senate races. If both Georgia Senate seats fall to the Democrats, then Joe Biden will be able to walk through and really ask anything he wants. If he doesn't, he won't get $600 a week. He'll get $300, $400 a week. He won't get $10,000 hazard pay. He'll get something less, but he will get something. All exciting news. Meantime, there's so much money right now that you can get. The money right now is EIDL, which is a lending instrument. I don't think it's going to be around more than just a few more weeks. So get it right now if you qualify, sba.gov. Then free stimulus checks from your states. Those are coming out. Then stimulus rent coming out from your states. And then escalated benefits. Escalated benefits, which are so important for you to get. I'll go over more of them on Being a Mitch, but what's important to understand is escalated benefits is paying viewers $15,000, $10,000. One viewer minutes ago on live for Holidays LALATE said in Missouri he's getting $15,000 escalated benefits because of this channel. What he did was he followed my advice. He sent them his 2019 tax return. They looked at how many months he's been on unemployment. I think it was since March. And then they looked at how much he's being paid per week. He wasn't being paid enough per week, and he's going to get $15,000. If you made $18,000 or more in 2019, you'll raise your benefits about $50 a week. Which is about $1,500 if you've been unemployed for 30 weeks. Next, if you were unemployed for about 30 weeks and you made $25,000 or more in 2019, you'll get about $3,000 in your account. And finally, if you made over $30,000 in 2019 and have been unemployed since March, which is about 30 weeks, you'll get about $9,000, or in his case, $10,000, bam, right in your account. It's that simple. You get a copy of your 2019 tax return, you send it to them along with a nice cover letter that says, "Hi, here I am. I'm currently getting this amount of money per week. Please take a look at my 2019 tax return. See if I qualify for additional weeks of benefits." Thank you so much. Call them the day after, call them the day after that. The 2 things you do not do. 1, you don't use complicated words. 2, you don't say escalated benefits. That's a word that you and I use on this channel so you understand what I'm talking about. You don't use complicated words like escalated benefits because they're not universal terms. They're not terms used in every single state. They do this in every single state, but they don't use the words that a kid in LA uses in every other state. We all talk differently across this country. So use basic words like more or additional or extra or higher. Very simple words. Finally, know how much your state's maximum benefits are in your state. Some states go to $300, some states go to $500 a week. When you know that, you will be informed and ready to go after it. And go after Purple coming right up after this video. It's 15 minutes from now. And it's going to have major developments about state stimulus checks land in your pocket. All really exciting. I just never see a day that the news is so exciting. Thank you for joining me and being a part of this community. And please subscribe. Also like this video. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay LALATE for more.